Claiming to be about truth, yet scared to hold it when it arrives, makes you a lame to me. Tonight I'm going to be talking about medical malpractice and sharing my journey of this foolery. And I'm going to try to stay on topic to the best of my ability. I started out, I wrote this little, it was inspired by the song Hungry Like the Wolf. Love it. Love that song. So that's where I got this from. I kind of just switched up stuff to, just to switch it up. But the credit goes to Hungry Like the Wolf. I swear they made that song about me. Dark in the city, truth is a wire. Steam in the mind, earth is a fire. Catch my energy close behind. In touch with the ground, I'm on the hunt. I'm right after you. Smell like I sound, I can get lost in a crowd. I'm too close for you to hide. High blood drumming on your skin, why are you so tense? I can feel your blood pressure rise. You'll feel my heat, I'm a moment behind. All I need is your scent or a sound, and I'll be upon you like moonlight shines. 'Cause I'm hungry like the wolf. God, I love that song. So, my daughter, in 2011, my daughter was born. And decided to do a induction because she was not coming. And she was measuring really big, and I didn't want her to be, it just didn't want to go over. And I did not know anything about induction drugs. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I wish I would have not been so... I didn't even know. I didn't even know. There was so much I didn't know. And I feel like if you're an expert, you're the doctor, you're supposed to, I didn't know to ask questions, but I shouldn't have to. If you are an expert, you should sit somebody down and tell them exactly and explain to them exactly what they're getting themselves into, not expecting them to understand the medical terms, not even understand what they're signing. And again, they're putting their trust in you because you're the expert. Just to give you a little history on Pitocin, which is what they use, one of the drugs they use to induce women for labor. First of all, if I would have realized the dangers of Pitocin beforehand, if they would have sat me down and said, hey, I started doing a lot of research on Pitocin. I'm talking about I spent hours awake after my son's delivery, which is another traumatic story. Pitocin, I just want to warn women that if you're getting an induction, Pitocin, not only you should research the effects it can have on your child if used improperly, it makes them all tight up, and it puts so much stress on their body. Way too much stress on their body. I do not recommend it. So, first of all, because this is an emotional process for me, and I may get rambly. So I want to put this out here first. Pitocin goes up to 40 milligrams. They also use Pitocin for medical abortions. Okay? 30 to 40 milligrams causes fetal death. Okay, I'm going to say it again. 30 to 40 milligrams causes fetal death. So you need a doctor's order to go above 20 milligrams. I also want to say, like I said, doing more research, nobody's telling me this. I'm finding this out on my own. 6 milligrams of Pitocin equals natural labor contractions. Anything above that is pain I never want to feel again. Even though I'm feeling similar things. But that anything above 6 milligrams of Pitocin, you are going to feel like somebody is ripping your insides. I can't even, I don't even think there's enough words to describe the amount of pain that I was experiencing at 10 milligrams. Because I was gonna not do an epidural. I didn't want to do an epidural. I didn't want anybody messing with my spine. So I started out really good without an epidural. Got up to 10 milligrams. I believe I was up to, labor was not progressing. I think I was at 15 milligrams. I can't remember exactly. But I do know that I waited as long as I could before I even asked for the epidural. And they didn't say a word when I would ask them why my contractions were so excruciating. They just accepted my request for the anesthesiologist under the condition that they said they had a really experienced anesthesiologist. He's been doing this for however 20 years or whatever. He's the best of the best. So I went ahead and did it at the last second. All of a sudden, this is just weird. He was unavailable. So there was a less experienced anesthesiologist there. But this time I was in so much pain. I honestly was like, I just went away with it. I just needed this to stop. I couldn't, there's no way. There's no way. Her heart rate kept dropping. Because they would even comment that, oh, she doesn't like your contractions, huh? It's causing her stress. I can't remember how much I got up to that time. I know it was over 20. I know it was over 20 milligrams. And that's when her heart stopped completely. And they were pulling the plug, and they were going to do emergency C-section. And then her heart came back on. So instead of them giving my body a break of the Pitocin, they just started me right back up at 10 milligrams. In the meantime, this epidural, he didn't say a word about how he stabbed me in the spine. He went right through my epidural zone, stabbed me in the spine, nicked me in the spine. So the epidural basically paralyzed me. I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't even lift my legs up. I couldn't do anything. I was so gone. Like I tried the best to be as coherent as I could because I was so focused on why I couldn't feel my legs. I'd never had an epidural before. They never said a word. It wasn't, it's like I'm watching my daughter's heart rate jump. I mean, all I could do was, I couldn't even say anything. I was so like traumatized already because I knew this was so wrong and they weren't even listening to anything I had to say, my questions. And you know, at the same time, you think everything, if they're not worried, you're not worried. But I just didn't understand why her heart rate was so, and they're telling me she doesn't like my contractions and she stops breathing. That should be indication enough. Like I said, I wish I would go back in time and know more. That's what makes me angry about this. Not at them and myself. Been breaking myself apart because I don't understand any of this stuff. Why is this happening? Why are they not taking this more seriously? Why are they rushing through it? While during my research, basically, if labor is not progressing after so many hours, you need to stop Pitocin and do a C-section. Granted, this first birth, it was stressful and it was traumatizing, and I can't stop thinking about it. There's nothing I can do to prove that they were negligent. It's just my word against theirs. They never said a word about me getting stabbed in the spine until by the time the epidural should have worn off, I pretty much couldn't walk until I left the hospital. I couldn't get out of bed. I had to keep a catheter in because he nicked me in my spine. Like I said, they didn't tell me that. And then they tell me they're gonna put some blood in my spine to seal up the hole because I was leaking spinal fluid through that hole. And then they tell me it should heal up by itself. Well, I had spinal headaches for weeks after. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. Couldn't pick my child up. I had to have her, for a first-time mom who can't go get their baby when they're crying, they have to wait for somebody else to get them and bring them to them. That alone, you need to go to jail for. Because I can't get that back. I can't get that first. And I was so traumatized. Like, I was in so much pain from the spinal. I feel like I wasn't good mom for her. Because just moving my body it just hurt so bad. So in the meantime, let's fast forward. I'm feeling better. I stopped having headaches. My back is still, I know there's a risk for epidurals for your back to have back issues, but not to the extent I was having them, okay? So and when they told me that it would heal on my own, I had to sign a waiver, and I signed it out of duress because they weren't even really saying too much, and like I said, traumatic events really just kind of in lack of knowledge and trusting words of another. I was so worried about how I wasn't walking. I'm like, okay, this is day 2. It was like, because you're there for 2 days. I didn't start gaining my walk back right up until they released me. I wasn't able to be released until I could walk. So that's not traumatizing at all, right? No. They just cared about, getting their waiver signed, liability things, so I wouldn't be able to sue because they knew they were in the wrong. And I do think it's awful funny. Years later, I'm talking to somebody who works at a pharmacy at a hospital. She told me their anesthesiologist at that hospital got in trouble because they were mixing their own surgery bags. Guess who's supposed to mix the bags? A pharmacist. It's a pretty big hospital too that she works at. I'm not gonna rat her out. It starts with a Saint, ends with a Cent. The hospital I was at was Community North. EMTs from my 2 car accidents told me that they consider Community North sudden death because it is a basic care hospital. It is not trauma. So if anything goes wrong, you will die, most likely die before getting transport. Stay away from Community North. Again, my back issues. I would, like, everybody wants to exercise, everybody wants to stretch, everybody wants to, I wanted to do something about my weight. But I couldn't. Every time I would exercise or stretch, the next day I swear I would wake up and my back would be, I couldn't barely walk for weeks. I have to go to the chiropractor. My whole body would like lock up and be paralyzed. I'm like dragging my leg around. This would happen every single time I would try to exercise. Every single time. The next day, it was like during the exercise, I would just ignore my pain because I just thought it was because of the effects from the epidural. Little did I know that hole in my spine wasn't healing. They're not going to tell me any of this. They're going to cover it up. When I mention the spinal stab, any doctor, even the second and third opinions I'm getting, they just blame it on my age and my weight. Well, I got up to almost 400 pounds after I had my daughter. Part of it was depression, but a lot of it was because I had a tiny hole in my spine. So, like you said, that's already a piece of me I'm losing out on, right? So, finally, a few years later, I start doing some like low-key exercises. They weren't that great. It wasn't like I wanted to do. I couldn't use the machines. I couldn't lift weights. I couldn't do the real vigorous stuff because that's when I would. So I started doing some I watched Locked Up on TV, and I saw the exercises they were doing, so I started doing them. They were very lightweight, and I ended up losing 130 pounds. So, again, I wasn't trying to keep spending money on a chiropractor. No. Shouldn't have to. Let's see. I'm going to fast forward to May 2021. After I had my son. I wake up one day, all of a sudden, and it felt like someone poured hot lava across my back and down my leg. I was temporarily paralyzed with excruciating pain. I seriously couldn't move. It was so bad. I will never forget it. It was so bad. For like a whole day. Finally, the next day, it loosened up and I could move, and my leg was numb. My foot was messed up. My foot was never the same. My right foot's never been the same. My toes stay tingly. Some days I can't feel them at all. Some days it feels like I'm walking on rocks or nails. It's no 2 days are the same. Sometimes I can't feel my leg at all. I can't. Somebody can drop a fucking brick on it and I'm not gonna feel it. And other days you get near me and it is like somebody is ripping my toes off. So I go see a spinal doctor. They take images. They tells me I have a bulging disc. Guess where the bulging disc in my spine is that caused this issue? The same exact spot where I had my little hole that I've been pretty much leaking spinal fluid very slowly, probably this whole time. And I'm getting told, as soon as, like I said, once I brought up the stab in my spine, could this totally dismiss, oh no, it wouldn't be that. It was contributed to age. It's pretty normal for people your age. I'm like, okay. I know bullshit when I hear it. So he tells me I need a steroid injection. And if the steroid injection doesn't hold, then spinal surgery is necessary. And I'm thinking, I don't want to be touched by these doctors. I don't want anybody fucking with my spine. I didn't want a steroid injection. I didn't want spinal surgery. I didn't want to be touched by strangers anymore. So I go get a second opinion. Yeah, like I would just get up each day like it's nothing. I would, you add in my pelvic injury from 2019. So my right side was pretty much useless. 2019, side note, 2019, it was a non-fault accident. A chick turned literally right in front of me, and my, where basically my right hip socket, part of my pelvic wall, which is the part which is how your hips are even able to expand during labor. Part of that bone broke off completely. I have a screw and plate in place holding that together. Like part of my bone is gone. And like I said, just these pieces of me missing, that parts of me, it alters you. So like I said, you add that in there, plus the spinal injury, my right side of my leg, down to or pretty much from my right side of my back down to my foot I was just dragging it for 2 years. I've been dragging it since then, since 2019, because my doctor told me, like I said, he's the expert. When I got my plate and screw in my pelvis put in, he said I didn't need physical therapy. If you're an expert and you see somebody's overweight, you tell them they don't need physical therapy, I would be like, hey, just so you know, if you have muscle weakness and hip weakness, it's going to put strain on your knees and it's going to put strain on the rest of your body, and that's how you are going to get arthritis. So you want to make sure your muscles are strong, or do some lightweight exercises. Better yet, let me just send you to physical therapy so you can learn a little bit about it. No, I don't need physical therapy. Discharge me to work. I wasn't even healed. I couldn't even walk. I had to drag my leg, and you're telling me I'm supposed to be at work? That's that scripted, doctor, and that is pure negligence. And how dare they design a country that people can't even heal? We are all one accident away from losing your entire life. That is ridiculous for anyone. So, fast forward back to the spinal doctor telling me I need the steroid injection. Some tell me just get a second opinion. So I try to get a second opinion. This doctor, talk about egotistical, totally dismissing. I started having all kinds of nerve issues. My left arm was messing up. Like, it was some weird, like some wild stuff. It just started, I was miserable. I didn't understand any of this stuff. She's telling me same thing, spinal injection. Again, once I mentioned the spinal tap, she looked me up and down. It's typical for people your age, and I know she was probably going to say my weight too. Totally dismissing that was probably the spinal stab that has caused this. Not all of it. My diet was a factor, but I'm saying there's more than one factor. I'm not lazy. I didn't choose this. I didn't even know what was going on, and I'm looking to the experts who are just as clueless. So I see her for, I can't remember exactly if it was a full year or not, but she was basically, we tried this steroid injection. The only reason why I did it was because they have, and this is another thing, they were a private practice. They own that. They own the practice. They have an x-ray machine that you can see the spine while they're doing it. So why don't all hospitals have that? Why is everything about money instead of helping people? It's sick. When I found out they had out that technology and this other hospital didn't, you're just going in people's spines blind, and you don't have to. You're choosing to. Because they don't. For what? I want to know why. Every hospital should have certain equipment. It's not, I'm tired of this money shit. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of it that I feel like they are literally using us as human experiments. This is people's lives. And they just are like, oops, my bad. Sign this waiver. No, I'm cool. So, I go ahead and do this. It barely did anything for me. So I told him. And then we were all going to be ready for surgery, but my son was having issues. I thought he was having seizures. I didn't know what was going on with my son. I come to find out he got diagnosed as autistic. So, it was like the things with his eyes and stuff he was doing, and it wasn't seizures. It was just part of the autism. So then I had an appointment. I had an appointment scheduled because we were going to set up surgery, spinal surgery. I was going to go ahead and do it because they have the equipment. Her husband was going to do it. He was the other doctor in the practice, and he was, assuring me that he uses the x-ray machine during surgery so he sees exactly where he needs to go. Why doesn't all the hospitals have it? I want to know when this machine was created. I'm going to have to look that up. X-ray spine machine. Accident of 2022 happens right before, I can't remember. My appointment was like a month or a couple. I don't remember exactly when my appointment was, but my appointment was coming up. I was all ready for spinal surgery. I was going to invest. I was not going to go back to work. I was going to try my best to invest in me, do what I got to do, and get on temporary, try to get on temporary disability for my issues and my mental issues, because I just could not function this way anymore. Mentally, I was so drained, I couldn't deal with the public anymore. I took everything to heart. Like I just couldn't. If I had to go back to work and work with the public, or go back to work, I'm not even kidding you. The last job I was at, this guy was like joking about kidnapping me so I wouldn't leave. Like, he was dead serious. Like, I worked in some really screwed up places and had some really awful bosses. And I'm not even kidding you when I say I was traumatized. Boom. April 4th. 2022, a red Chevy Silverado pulls out and stops right in front of me. He could have continued on. I do feel like it was intentional. Never forget the smirk on his face. Right below my knee down, both bones crushed. I have titanium plates and screws put in place. I'm not the same. They're telling me I'm healed. I'm not ever going to be healed. So my orthopedic doctor assures me I can get my internal fix. I had an external fix for like a week or two or so after they drilled 4 holes down in my bone and put this like bead bars on the outside of my leg because there's so much swelling. And I ended up getting a blood clot in my lung from the internal bleeding. And so he's telling me, he treated me for a whole year, okay? He's telling me I can get I can eventually get my plates and screws out. So I'm getting strong. My leg's taking longer to heal. I'm on bed rest for like 8 months of my life, fighting disability. Disability was a joke at first because I report my accident and then they just didn't put it in there at all. So then I ended up getting rejected. So then I had to reapply. So like, it's just stress. No wonder why my leg took longer to heal. Besides, I'm out of shape and stuff like that. You know how depressing that is? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to gain weight. I'm going to gain so much weight. Listen, and I had to pay somebody to take care of my kid. I had to watch my son bond with somebody else, and he couldn't bond with me. He was 1. I'll never get that time back. It took me a whole year. I couldn't carry my son. I couldn't put him to bed. I'm tired of people taking shit from me. Negligent, careless, egotistical doctors that think they know everything and just do as they please and go, oops, sign a waiver, and then they're off the hook. No, I'm coming for when I tell you I'm coming for it all, I'm coming for it all. Like I said, you have to put the pieces together. A psychopath is not going to walk up to you and be like, hi, I'm a psychopath. Here's the thing, though. I feel like there's different kinds of psychopaths. Psychopaths are the intentional ones that, harm. I'm psycho. I'm a psychopath because I'll go to the ends of the earth to protect a life or to get my voice out there to fix this. I'm more of like a methodical psychopath, not a pathological one. That's the type of psychopath I am. Because I will, like, if the situation arrived itself, I would put an end to anything I have to in order to protect life. That's what makes the difference between me and probably 98% of the world, a lot of the world, is people pretend, but if the situation arrived, I guarantee you they would choose their life over their children. Like I said, just a lot of lies going around. So after I had to pause my spinal doctor and the surgery, she just told me to contact her when I get more healed. Not that I was ever really healed, but I finally scheduled an appointment to get things back on track for spinal surgery. This lady looked me dead in my face and told me she never had a conversation with me about surgery. She never mentioned having spinal surgery. Totally gaslit me, saying she was so unprofessional. And she was telling me basically, she's like, oh no, all your issues are from your car accident. No, it's not, ma'am. No, it's not, because I've been having, do you not remember us, all these talks we had? You not look in the notes? Did you read your notes before you came in here? What are you talking about? She acted like, she was acted so appalled. She swung open the door like the little immature, egotistical doctor she is. And she goes to her coworker. She must have forgot to close the door. She's like, you're not going to believe this. She really says I said we discussed surgery. I mean, just talking about me. And I'm like, the door wasn't open. And I said, I can hear you. Never went back. I was so cool. I just still don't know. I still have to find a new spinal doctor because so much has been going on in my life. I totally spaced that. So anyway, back to my orthopedic doctor, Dr. Care. So, because I jumping around. He tells me, I can eventually get my plates out, this and that. He doesn't see any issue with that. So I'm working hard to get strong. I mean, I'm really pushing myself to get so strong so I can get this surgery to get these plates out, this titanium out of me, because My body does not like it. My body swells up. I can't, like, I'm walking on broken bones. You're not telling me my leg is healed and looks great, because I have holes in my bones I'm walking on. I'm walking on a broken fucking leg. You're not going to tell me I'm healed and good to go. I'm never going to be the same until this titanium is out of me. So I'm asking him, I go to see him. Because he basically, this is exactly what he told me when he discharged me. Come back and see me when you can't, you can't take it and you need it out. So that's exactly what I did. You know what this man said to me? He's retiring in 2 weeks, and it's not a good idea that I get the plates out because it takes 8 months or more for holes in bones to heal. If they heal at all, if they fill in at all. So I could lose my capacity to walk. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, and I need to make a decision because he retires in 2 weeks. Why didn't you say that shit when I was just saw you, what? I can't remember exactly the months. I want to say 4 to 6 months prior. Not a word. You knew you were retiring, or were you forced to retire because you're a negligent orthopedic doctor? He's like looking at me crazy. He's looking at me like I'm making up this pain. He has no idea why I'm still in so much pain. But it's like if you look up titanium orthopedic hardware, long term, it's going to eat your fucking bones. It's going to eat your tissues. It's going to cause you so much more excruciating pain. That's not a fix. You have all of these brains on this planet. And you're telling me titanium was the best you could do when it eats the body? Secondly, there is a surgeon out there, I wish I knew his name, but I heard about him, that he does more of a natural healing. And then I'm also doing some more research on my own about my injury. If they would have left the external fixator on my leg for 6 months or more, I could have full function in my leg. I didn't have to get the internal fix. My bones could have completely healed. So now I'm stuck like this. I mean, I still believe that somehow, some way it's going to come out, but I'm not kidding you. I do not wish this on anyone. I have to resist the urge so many times to not just cut my... I at one point thought about cutting my leg off, but I don't want to do that. That's a whole other set of problems, I'm sure. It is... I didn't know how to feel, and I couldn't even explain to you the amount of rage that I experience dealing with these doctors who are so egotistical and can't see outside of their agenda and their fucking paychecks, that they're playing with human life. And I know I'm not the only one. There's so much that we just don't even know. It just, and the way he's just telling me this life-changing news without blinking or showing one bit of emotion, and I'm like, I was a mess. It still breaks my heart. It still really affects me that you can just do this to people and just not even flinch and make them like they're making this up. So now I'm on a whole new adventure, finding some new doctors to figure out exactly what's going on with me, because I'm having excruciating pain, nerve pain all over my body. My left arm, like, I wake up and I can't use my limbs. And I know part of it is my body does not like this. It's a foreign object. My body does not like this titanium in my body. It is causing my nervous system to malfunction. I'm not even shitting you. And I'm not going to let not any of these get me down. Not one. I mean, I've got medical debt for things I didn't cause. Do you think I'm care to pay them off? No, I'm not doing it. I didn't. The laws need to change. If you cause an accident, you need to pay. you need to take care of that person. If you take away their ability to work, you need to be working for that person. Like, what is it called? Like child support. You need to provide some financial support. No, if they don't have proper insurance, your injury gets diminished and you just get what you can. That's wrong. You totally life changed, totally took away somebody's ability to even work. And they're just stuck on government. They're just, what? Get disability. You know what the disability lady tells me? She's setting up that I should count my lucky stars because people my age don't usually get disability. Do you have any fucking clue what I've been through? And you tell me I'm lucky to still stay stuck in poverty, income that I couldn't even do anything with if I didn't live with family, and if I didn't already, recovering from another accident and, self-sabotage. I was trying to get my life together. And then these happen, sets me off. Now I can't, there's no way. I can't, it's hard for me to sit still. Like when I get done with these videos, I have to walk around for like 15, 20 minutes. I can't stay in the same spot for long. It really fucks with me. It's why I move around a lot. My leg starts messing up. It's a lot. And like I said, I'm so tired of these doctors getting away with stuff and playing with people's lives. Like I don't even know. But the positive side is I go to see I got a new primary care doctor I'm going to go see at the end of next month. And on their website, it welcomes people with multiple medical conditions. I've never seen that before. I knew I was in the right place. It was the same network I go for my physical therapy. And yeah, it's like I said, it's mind-blowing. And I know I'm not the only one. And it's just really sad that there's so much that happens behind closed doors that we don't even know. And they just, like I said, the blue wall, there's the medical wall. Because doctors are going to protect each other. You have to put the clues together. Now, my son's delivery. I didn't want to go back to Community North after the situation with my daughter. But when I got pregnant with my son, this doctor came, highly recommended. I'm pretty sure, on this group I followed, I'm pretty sure I saw at least 50 people comment about how good she was and this and that. Well, refresh about the Pitocin. Okay, I had gestational diabetes this time. I had to be, they were so adamant on getting him out at 37 weeks. So I'm like, okay, I really didn't want to. I really wanted to just let him come when he came because of the first time. And like I said, she seemed to know what she was talking about. We had a discussion about could I even have a vaginal birth because of my pelvic injury. And without blinking or flinching, she's like, oh, I'm very confident in a vaginal delivery. And I wish I would have realized at the time. I should have said, did you even look at my medical records? So delivery comes. Again, Pitocin, 6 milligrams is natural labor. Doctor's order after 20. At one point during my son's delivery, I was at 34 units of Pitocin. And I was not progressing at all in 30 hours. I had to watch my son's heartbeat jump 20 beats at a time. Not 5, not 10. It would go from 181 to 120. 120, that's even more than 20. I mean, it would just jump. And, I'm losing blood. There's so much blood. I will never forget how much blood there was. And they're telling me it's fine. I kept asking the nurses to check. And finally, when they checked, they did this, looked at each other, and then left the room. And that's when the doctor came in. The doctor that was supposed to deliver me. Another weird situation. The last second, I've been on call for 2 days. I can't. Somebody else is gonna deliver. Like it was no big deal. Remember, Pitocin, 30 to 40 units is fetal death. I should have never touched 30. I was at 34 at one point. They basically were trying to force him out, and it was causing a medical abortion. And where my break in my pelvis was, it's my right side of my hip is not going to be able to spread, to loosen up for the mobility for the pelvis to even expand for the vaginal delivery. So they put me through all of this for no reason. And like I said, nobody's going to tell you anything. You have to put the pieces together. No lawyers will do anything about it because he's not a vegetable. It doesn't matter that it was just such a traumatic experience that my concerns of distress are being ignored for hours. It's just weird. And of course I blame myself because I never should have went back to the hospital. But again, I, saw the reviews of her. Like her, word of mouth on this group. And again, I wish I could go back and do so much more research. It's so unreal. And I know there's so many other people out there that get ignored and dismissed and treated like you're making this up. And I'm telling you, listen to yourself. An expert does not, just because they memorize information in a book, does not make them an expert. Ask your questions, get more than one opinion, learn the body. Like I said, I wish I wouldn't have been so traumatized in general. I'm not blaming that. I'm just saying this is the awareness of effects. I'm here for awareness. I'm not here for pity. I'm not here for recognition. I'm not here for a plaque on the wall. I'm here for awareness. I'm here to wake up, make some noise. Let's fix it. Because the moment you go to cover up what you did, that's the moment where you have no mercy. Trying to cover it up. Like I said, skeletons are waking up. You're going to feel it. I'm coming. I'm just a moment behind. It's coming. Change. Pray for change. I'm the answer to your prayers. I think I've said enough. Just know any error that you could think of is going on, I'm going to figure it out. We're going to correct it. These protocols in hospitals are going to change for real. Pitocin is a no-no. If your baby's heart rate drops more than 5 beats per minute at a time, say something, do something. C-section. The baby's brain is so fragile. Any wrong move can affect it. That could be where, like I said, a lot of things are going wrong too in the mind. They think they know everything. They really don't. They're just, like I said, it's all a bunch of guesses. But don't sit here and act like you know everything, because at the end of the day, they don't really know. Again, it's just studies and stuff. We need to become our own doctors. Because there's some good ones out there who actually know what they're talking about and have a clue. And I feel good about my journey now. But these doctors, majority of these doctors, they don't know a damn thing. Because my orthopedic doctor didn't say anything about nerve damage. You know what I'm saying? He's looking at me like he don't know nothing. Everything looks good. Everything's great. You're good to go. No. I have holes in my bones. I'm not healed. Don't tell me that. When I'm altered forever. Every walk, every step I take is excruciating. Because it's all putting that pressure. And it just constantly throbs. Sometimes it does make me go mad. But like I said, I'm still trying to make the best of it. My son touches it, my son climbs over my legs or something, man, it's still very sore to the touch. And like I said, anybody can use that. Anybody can use any of this against me. I'm going to show my weakness. If you want to exploit it, I still got something for you. I promise you, you won't get near my leg. Promise you. I had somebody, while I was in my wheelchair, still in my wheelchair. She was actually my sister-in-law. She was bullying my nephew. She's just a real awful person. Makes fun of him, tells him he's going to burn in hell for being gay, and then she lies about it. And she's always picking. I mean, just being around her makes me physically, sick. Because she is she thinks she's so smart and knows everything, but she just insults everyone around her. But she can't take it. Basically, all I said to her was, because she was throwing in my nephew's face that, oh, your child support was Christmas. No child. She told him that it's his fault his father hasn't seen him. And the reason why he said he didn't want to go around anymore is because she talks about his mom, which she does. It's all she talks about. She must want to be her or something. She lies on him. Oh my God, I can't even. Well, that's a whole nother shit show for another day if I get on it at all, but I'm just trying to give you the gist of it. So all I did was say something to her. I was like, hey, he was really upset about what you said to him. And then she just went in. That's all I said. And I said, no, I was just, she was going in, hysterical. And then all of a sudden, next thing I know, she wants to fight me. She been wanting to do something to me. I'm in my wheelchair. So I stood up. I said, let's go, bitch. Let's go outside right now. And she's like, I'm going to call 911 right now. I said, go ahead. You're the one who started it. That's why I said, people love to see your weakness and exploit it, especially her. And let me just tell you this, because I'm sure she's watching this. Bitch, I'll be ready for you. Any day. Just don't call the police when you get your ass handed to you, you sloppy lady. Still got your number. Because I know you ain't changed. I know you're just trying to be nice to get my nephews to come back around so you can do what you do. Manipulate. And this ain't got nothing to do with medical malpractice, so I'm going to end it there. But talking about exploiting a weakness just reminds me of her, because that's her. For sure. And just letting her know, because I know she watches my stuff. Just letting you know, I'm not scared of you. You're scared of me. Because why else would you threaten to call 911? But you're so tough, right? You're going to threaten a handicapped chick who's bout it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, no. You know what that taught me? Boxing. Taught me to really just rise up for myself. So, just letting her know I'm ready for you whenever. Just stay your ass in Cumberland. How about that? Yeah. And let me find out you say something wrong to my nephews. I'll have no problem pulling up on you. You can call the police, because I guarantee the police in your county, they probably already got your number. They probably wouldn't come. You've had CPS called on you so many times. And you weasel your way out of it. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. Good night.